So good evening everyone. I am Jahara Daverlinam Brana and my co-reporter is Mr. Charles A. And for tonight we are going to discuss about the topic 6, which is about research findings on the influences of developmental and socio-cultural dimensions of learning. Now, many of us know that man by nature is a social being, and as such, this social nature has been studied and used as basis to explain many of his behaviors. Now, much of the study has its basis about different theories developed by experts. Now, the proof of the veracity of the theories can be obtained with the conduct of researches and studies. On the practical side, research findings also give ideas and provide knowledge to practitioners so that they could use and apply this to effectively deal with classroom situations or come up with effective teaching methodologies, especially as they relate to the socio-cultural dimensions of learning. Now, let's discuss about the importance of research findings on the influences of developmental and socio-cultural dimensions of learning. Now, when we say research, what is research? When we say research, it is a systematic and orderly way of studying and looking for new information meant to add to and build up existing knowledge. Now, people do researches in various fields of study and for different purposes and reasons, of course. In the same manner, we could say that research has been and it's being done to gather more data on the developmental and socio-cultural dimensions of learning. So, through researches, this will enable specially practitioners to analyze and evaluate for themselves what is the best practices to adopt and apply in their teaching task. And of course, more importantly, if it was earned with evidence and outputs of scientific study, the practitioners would be in a better position to develop and apply learner-centered methodologies and approaches to teaching. And hopefully, research findings would lead practitioners to modify their values, perspectives, and philosophy of education, and considering the realities happening in classroom and in the educational system. It is true that researchers are very important and significant on the developmental and socio-cultural dimensions of learning because in addition to providing data. And also, research will assist those practitioners in becoming aware of their values as well as their perspectives in order to at least use or apply those answers or solutions obtained through their conducted research of what would be the best thing that would be beneficial in helping to develop the educational system that we have. So now, let's talk about parental involvement. Now, when we say parental involvement, what is it? Now, parental involvement, it is a general term that describes parents' engagement or their involvement in their children's education. So, in the study of Schneider and Coleman in the year 1993, in their book Sunstruck 2011, they found that parents with higher education are more likely think and believe that their involvement in their children's education is very important than parents with lower education. So, to be active participants in their children's education and to provide or their children intellectually stimulating materials at home. So, this could imply that parents with a higher level of education are more aware of the significance of their participation and involvement in children or in their children's education, as it affects their children's achievements too. The same goes for the importance of providing their children with highly intellectually stimulating materials at homes, which are such as books and internet resources. Now, parents with higher education levels have the technical knowledge to understand the importance of actively getting involved in their children's activities, and they could urge themselves to really engage in active positive interactions with their children about school matters, school performance, or any other school related activities. This may also explain by the fact that as children grow older, as children grow older and develop more complex through process, and that the parents with higher education would most likely to be able to address or to raise a concern and respond better to such complex process. And therefore, we can really say that parents with a higher level of education really understand the significance of the active participating in their children's activities. So now, let's talk about Mr. Cotton and Wickland. So, Cotton and Wickland did an analysis of the various studies on parental involvement in its many forms. So, they overwhelmingly point to parental involvement and engagement as positively related also to students' achievement. Now, the more parental engagement and involvement there is, the higher is the children's achievement and performance in school. Now, we can say that this was all true. This was all true for kinds and forms of parental involvement and for all ages and sexes. And now, according to parent involvement in education, I quote, it was also found in this review and analysis that parental engagement did not only benefit the student, but also the parents, teachers, and the school itself. End of quote. Now, this means that the more involved parents are, the more motivated the students or children are. So, I can say that this one is very true because I was able to experience that too, but in a different way. Why I can say in a different way? Because my mother is the one who truly supports and motivates me in all of my accomplishments and also failures up until my college days, especially in USEP way back 2015. She would tell me how proud she was of me and encourage me even if I had failed a major subject at that time, which is only one subject. But however, no matter how good my grades were, my father would always discourage me from pursuing a BS in electronics and communication and engineering. Because of his discouragement, I was only able to complete my third year of college and I stopped. So, as what you can see, as a future teachers and parents, we must encourage our future students and children even if they fail. So, because let us remember that failure is a part of our success, and encouragement is a major way to boost a student's or child's confidence and determination. Now, let's discuss about Vinaigrette, Basel, and Basel. Now, Vinaigrette, Basel, and Basel, they wanted to determine the effects of home teaching on achievement. Now, during their research, they involved 195 parent participants to determine the effects of teaching word recognition skills to their children at home using materials provided, of course, by the school. Now, after the home tutoring program, so the measures of word recognition skills were taken. Now, the students taught by parents at home significantly perform better in word recognition than those parents who did not go through this home tutoring program. So, as you can see, parental involvement or engagement in their educations or in their children's education has a greater impact on the students' academic performance. Now, therefore, we could say that the interaction between parent and the child occurring the home teaching period could have created a good and satisfying climate for the learning, which motivated or which caused the motivation or to motivate these children to perform better. Now, for all parents there, especially us, the future teachers and future parents, we must be aware of the importance of their child's engagement and involvement in school. Because the more we encourage ourselves to become more involved in the study of the children, the more we motivate the children to perform better in their studies. Now, let's talk about the parenting style and child rearing. Now, the effects of child rearing practices, which involve interaction, behaviors between parents and children to learning, have also been studied. Now, when we talk about parenting style and child rearing, we're talking about a psychological construct that represents standard strategies that parents use when raising their children. Now, according to Wigfield et al. In 2006, in the book Sandrock 200, which is in page 459, they found that the following parenting services to result in improved motivation and achievement. Now, the first one is knowing enough about the child. Now, to provide the right amount of challenge and right amount of support. So, yes, it is true because the more you know about your child, the better you will be able to determine the appropriate level of challenge and support for your child. And also, that is important that you as a parent, you know who your child really is and you know enough about your child. So now, the second one is providing a positive emotional climate. Now, meaning to say, it is creating a positive atmosphere that is caring because they create a positive atmosphere that is caring because creating such will motivate children to internalize that their parents' values and goals. Because the more children see their parents being supportive or creating a positive emotional climate, the more students are motivated to value their parents' importance, efforts, and time. So the third one, or lastly, is modeling. Now, modeling motivated achievement behavior working on persisting with effort and challenging tasks. This is very important build because showing off or demonstrating your importance to your children is important because your children will imitate you. This is, for those hardworking parents, this is a fantastic opportunity for parents who work tirelessly for their children's benefit because the harder the parents work, the more the children want to imitate them, which leads them to doing better as well. Now, parenting style is also related to achievement and certain social behaviors as found in the research by Diana Bomren. She is an expert in developmental psychology and parenting. She identified 4 parenting style and outcomes of each of this style, which are authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and neglectful. So, she found that authoritative parents tend to have children who are high achievers, and who interact with peers using competent social skills. She also added that authoritative parents set rules and boundaries. They encourage open discussion and reasoning. So, Diana Baumred concluded that this could be the reason why their children achieve highly and are socially competent. On the other hand, the children of authoritarian parents perform worse academically because they are less independent and are generally unhappy. Now, the children of indulgent parents or the permissive parents encounter more problems in relationships and interactions. Now, for those children whose parents are neglectful, on the other hand, tend to be more impulsive and unable to regulate their emotions. In the absence of contradicting data, the results showed that a trend where authoritative parenting style is better. This is such good and reliable information for everyone that authoritative parenting style is very good because it will create a positive environment, open interactions, and open communications with your children, which results to a more effective learning of your child. Also, similar have been obtained in the study of Monier 2013 and Kingsley Nyarko, where they found that adolescents who were raised under authoritative parents were performing well. Now, this is what I am saying earlier, that those parenting styles which is authoritative says that students are performing well, especially academically. The opposite was found among adolescents raised by parents who were either indulgent or uninvolved or the permissive kind of parenting style. So that would be all. For the continuation will be Mr. Ang. Thank you!